Here we go again. More snow on the way to central and eastern Kentucky. I'm tracking that. Bitterly cold wind chills and maybe a winter storm. A lot going on straight ahead.
Former Governor Steve Beshear wants to save the state's health insurance exchange, and now his new effort is creating a showdown with the current governor.
A frightening fall during a competition ended up saving a former UK gymnast's life.
This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening to you. The sunshine was nice to see today, but it is still cold outside, and now it looks like another round of snow is heading our way tomorrow.
In fact, parts of Kentucky are under a winter weather advisory, and we begin tonight with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. He shows us what he's tracking on the First Alert Defender. Chris?
Yeah, you know, we're inching closer and closer to springtime, but we still can't find it anywhere in the forecast. It is still the middle of February, and boy, it's acting the part. If anything, it's acting a little on the harsh side in terms of winter weather. System right after system heading our way. Next one, it's up for business right now across parts of Missouri, Iowa, and the Dakotas. It's a light snowmaker that is targeting especially southern parts of the area as we go into late tonight and Friday morning. Nothing is out there in your Defender radar network as of now. By 11 o'clock, maybe a little flurry action showing up on our western skyline by then. Let's look at that hour-by-hour forecast. You notice how it does increase the flurry factor late evening by 10 or 11 o'clock. That'll go by the wayside. Then the actual light snowmaker begins to show up from west to east, targeting the southern half of the area as we go into 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. That is not a big snow by any stretch of the imagination. A lot of areas will come in under an inch, but the timing on that could impact the morning commute. That's your winter weather advisory for southern Kentucky. Light snow returning tomorrow. I think we get everybody gets in on some wraparound snow showers and squalls tomorrow night ahead of a bitterly cold weekend. Wind chills go below zero. We will track that, and the number 3 item showing up. Winter storm potential coming into town late Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. A complicated forecast in less than 15 minutes.
He took great pride in the program, and now former Governor Steve Beshear has launched an effort to save Kentucky's health insurance exchange. Current Governor Matt Bevin plans to dismantle Connect, but Beshear says that would be a huge mistake, and he hopes a new campaign will save it. Caitlin Sentner has our top story at 6.
Governor Matt Bevin is following through on promises made on the campaign trail. He wants to dismantle Kentucky's healthcare system and rebuild. But his predecessor, Governor Steve Beshear, isn't losing his legacy without a fight.
Governor Bevin will be held accountable for the moves that he makes.
The former governor says it's not a personal issue.
Governor Bevin prides himself on being a successful businessman. So he should recognize and appreciate hard numbers and facts and evidence.
At the state capitol Thursday, Governor Bevin responded to Beshear with some tough talk.
My job is to govern, not to sit on the outside and be an armchair quarterback.
According to Governor Bevin, debt has to be paid.
Previous administrations have punted on this, kicked this can down the road, disregarded it, and we run the risk of undermining the ability to meet any of our pension obligations unless we address it. I intend to address it.
If Connect is dismantled, Kentuckians would instead sign up on KentuckyHealthcare.gov. But Beshear says it's more than that, and that Kentuckians would have to pay more for their health care.
And look, we're going to lose some battles. I don't have any question about it. But we're going to win the war.
It is a little unprecedented and a little sad, frankly, that after 8 years that he's still scrambling for a sense of relevancy, but that's entirely up to him.
In Frankfort, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
Governor Bevin hopes to use the National Health Exchange by the next open enrollment period. Former Governor Beshear has launched a website as part of his campaign to save Connect, SaveKentuckyHealthcare.org.
Tonight, investigators are trying to figure out what caused a fire that killed a Clay County man in his home. The fire started early this morning in the Burning Springs community. Firefighters say they found the man dead inside the home. The coroner identified the man as 79-year-old Delmar Edwards. Family members say he cared for animals all over Clay County.
And he was a vet for years and years and years, county vet, you know, and he went everywhere and doctored people's cattle and stuff.
Family members say Edwards used supplemental heat in his home, and they wonder if that caused the fire.
We have an update tonight on the investigation into a salmonella outbreak in Estill County. The Estill County Health Department now says there are 35 confirmed salmonella cases, an increase from yesterday. Health leaders also say more than 70 people have reported stomach-related illnesses. Health leaders haven't figured out the source of the outbreak. Now that investors have pulled out of the Centerpoint project in downtown Lexington, many people want to know what's next. In nearly 8 years, the project has only resulted in a giant hole in the ground. Today, Hillary Thornton tried getting some answers from Lexington city leaders.
A major setback for the Centerpoint project is news no one in Lexington wanted to hear.
I mean, disappointed, but not shocked or anything.
Developers backing out of the already stalled project just weeks after the city gave them a 30-day extension.
What happens next?
That is now the big question surrounding the city block, a question a spokesperson for Mayor Jim Gray says they will now discuss with City Council, exploring any new options and proposals. In a letter sent by the city's attorney to the council today, Attorney Mason Miller outlined the agreement with developers through a timeline of the plagued project, including all of the various extensions given along the way to the web companies. Miller also explaining a possible outcome in the letter, saying if by March 30th the garage is not completed or the property is not restored to its pre-construction condition, the city has the right to fill in the hole itself, seek up to $4.4 million reimbursement, and foreclose on the property if not reimbursed.
Maybe this is what we needed. Maybe, maybe somebody needed to pull out of something so it gets moving again.
As they wait to find out what is next for the now giant hole in the middle of downtown, business owners say they are still hopeful that it will be something positive.
I can't imagine that there's going to be a hole stuck in the downtown Lexington for forever. Something has to happen soon. Some decisions have to be made, so that's something to look forward to.
In Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
It is a view of Centerpoint that you have never seen before. Right now on WKYT.com and in the WKYT News app, you can tour the site through the lens of a drone. WKYT's Jennifer Palumbo is at the live desk with a preview, a pretty interesting look. Jennifer.
It really is, Amber. You can't miss the cranes towering over Lexington's skyline or what's been nicknamed Center Pit. It even has its own Twitter account now. And now you can tour the site rather than just see it from a distance. The view from this drone fly-through is dramatic. Buildings on this block were torn down in 2008, with the project originally scheduled to be finished in 2010. Delays and financial problems meant scaling down what was once to be an iconic tower rivaling the Big Blue building. Blasting didn't even start until 2013. Then came excavation, and the city block was turned into a deep pit. Now, instead of a scaled buildings on the site, there are only 2 idled cranes towering over it. But you can see how the stage was being set for construction to take flight. The cranes have been at Centerpoint since December 2014. At the live desk, Jennifer Palumbo, WKYT.
Jennifer, thank you. To watch the fly-through or learn more about Centerpoint, just go to WKYT.com or the WKYT News app.
Her gymnastics career came to an abrupt end 1 year ago this month. Former UK gymnast Shelby Hilton suffered a fall during a routine performance, sending her to the hospital. But what doctors discovered after that fall may have saved her life. Lee K. Howard has the story new at 6.
I'm so excited to watch you guys compete against them. Especially after that last situation.
In the arena of life,
Did you warm up bars?
we are measured not by how we fall, but how we get back up. Shelby Hilton had worked her entire life to be a college gymnast.
I knew this is what I wanted to do, so I worked really hard to get to where I wanted to go.
Boy, she slings that up.
The Florida native realized that dream with a scholarship to the University of Kentucky.
She was a scrappy competitor, and she was always smiling. That's another thing about her. She was just a happy kid.
But during her senior season,
I just remember not feeling good.
on a trip to her home state to face the Florida Gators,
I was just more like in a daze.
Shelby Hilton will lead off.
her gymnastics career and outlook on life took a sudden turn.
You hear surreal all the time. It's exactly what it was. It took me a second to register. You know, in a strange way, it was such a blessing.
Hilton was rushed to a local hospital where a CT scan amazingly revealed no damage from her fall.
I tell everybody who asks me, I say it is a blessing.
What it did reveal was 4 spots on her brain.
Because God had a reason for all that to happen.
Medulloblastoma.
At first I thought my life was over.
Brain cancer.
I lost a lot of weight, lost a lot of things.
Shelby was in the competition for her life.
I was a strong athlete and I'm a strong girl. There's no way I could not get through that. I'm gonna get through it.
Battling cancer is a team sport. But just beating cancer wasn't enough.
One team, Shelby strong!
1 year later,
You look pretty. Thanks, so do you.
Shelby has returned to school to finish her degree.
That was my ultimate goal.
Are you ready for your senior night?
Yeah, of course.
And have that senior night she missed out on.
Big Blue Nation, please give a warm welcome to former UK gymnast Shelby Hilton.
I knew I had a purpose. When I have a purpose, I want to reach my goal.
Welcome back, babe.
Thank you.
After continuing to fight, Shelby has been declared disease-free for 4 months now. Let's give her
I think it was just a huge blessing.
In Lexington, Lee K. Howard, WKYT.
She never gave up. Shelby has been declared disease-free. She will finish her chemo medication in October, and she's on schedule to graduate in December.
He has been waiting months for a heart transplant to save his life, and yesterday a Central Kentucky man finally received some good news. The update next.
Kentucky mornings start here. Breaking and overnight news, weather to plan your day, plus traffic you can take with you. Make WKYT This Morning part of your Kentucky morning. Weekdays from 4:30 to 7 on WKYT.
This President's Day weekend at Ashley Home Store, save up to 25% off, plus get 12 months interest-free store-wide. Don't miss doorbusters like this stylish sofa, now only $379. 4 days only. Ends Monday. Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Kentucky Lottery jackpot sequence has been initiated. Prepare for current jackpot amount.
Saturday's Powerball jackpot is $176 million.
It's bold. It's exciting. It's groundbreaking. Toyota is the President's Weekend event. Now through Tuesday, get $500 President's Weekend bonus cash on any new 2016 RAV4. Get 0% financing on many of Toyota's best-selling models, or leases from just $159 a month for this stylish Corolla S. Don't miss the President's Weekend event going on now. Toyota, let's go places.
They say life gets better the older you get, and time becomes more valuable. Time to spend with family, time to try new things, time to have fun. At Kroger, you can have your prescriptions filled while you shop, so it's easy to save money and time with your Kroger pharmacy. And you can get back to the things you love.
Be heart smart. Your Kroger pharmacist can help you understand your heart health numbers, your medications, and so much more. See your Kroger pharmacist today.
Like to know how to avoid measuring, marking, and bad cuts with your circular saw? With the Craig Rip Cut Saw Guide, you'll make those accurate cuts repeatedly without measuring or marking your boards. The Rip Cut adjusts quickly to your cutting width, making cuts in plywood and MDF fast, easy, and accurate every time. Great projects all start with perfect cuts, so get the Craig Rip Cut Saw Guide today. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. Get your Craig Rip Cut at craigcutting.com or these and other fine retailers.
Lexington Overstock Warehouse is open this weekend only for our huge President's Day sale. Get quality furniture and mattresses at incredibly low prices. This sofa $297. This queen bedroom set $597. Go to LexingtonOverstockWarehouse.com for more details.
He's been turned down. Commence operation.
Hey!
You need a car.
I got turned down for credit.
Turned down for what?
For credit.
Sorry, earwax. Turned down for what?
Credit.
Drive time won't turn you down, regardless of credit.
Cool.
Save yourself. Get approved at Drive Time First. Call, click, or visit.
This week at Ashley Home Store's President's Day sale, find your perfect Tempur-Pedic sleep system and pay no interest for 8 full years. Queen mattresses start at less than $18 a month. America's #1 mattress and furniture store. Ashley Home Store. This is home.
We have a happy update to report to you on a story we first brought you back in November about a Frankfurt man who needed a heart transplant after a virus attacked his. And tonight we've learned a donor heart came yesterday.
It did. In 2014, Terrence Coomer got sick while working construction at Commonwealth Stadium. What he thought was a stomach virus led to heart failure. Coomer has been waiting for a new heart since last September. Implanted devices and medicine has been keeping him alive. Well, yesterday, Coomer underwent a lengthy surgery at Vanderbilt Medical Center. He is now off a breathing tube and doing well. And to learn more, go to his GoFundMe page. Just search Terrence Coomer. But we're so glad that he got a new heart.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
It's been a harsh period of winter weather over the past month across much of the Bluegrass State. That pattern ramping up over the past few days with snows that were just coming at us in waves, and we've got a little more snow on the way as we go into late tonight and tomorrow. For that reason, winter weather advisory is out for the southern half of Kentucky, from Pike County through Lincoln County back into the Bowling Green area through noon tomorrow. That's a part of the state that could pick up on some very light accumulations. This isn't a big system by any stretch of the imagination, maybe just enough to slicken up a road here or there. And the snows that are coming out of parts of Missouri and Iowa now will target the Kentucky-Tennessee border counties late tonight and tomorrow morning. That's the area that can pick up a quick inch of snow out of this early tomorrow. For the rest of us, we may have to wait until tomorrow evening and tomorrow night to pick up on snow showers coming off of Lake Michigan. Those can generally ramp up a little bit across southeastern Kentucky. More of a nuisance snow than anything coming our way as we go through the next few days. Snowfall and slick roads, not the center of attention Friday into Saturday. The center of attention stealing the show, the cold temperatures and those wind chills that will get dangerously cold at times. Don't believe me? Let's check in with the hour-by-hour wind chill forecast. Let's go to 5 o'clock tomorrow. We're starting out our weekend, Valentine's weekend. 16 is what it feels like in Lexington. 10 o'clock. Starting to see single-digit wind chills showing up. And we surpass that 0 mark quickly tomorrow night, and we go into negative territory Saturday morning. Models are forecasting anywhere from 3 or 4 below 0. Look at Covington, 11 below for a wind chill number. That's what your body thinks the temperature is come first thing Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon is no walk in the park. It's going to be 0, maybe a few degrees below at times for your wind chill. We go through Saturday evening into early Valentine's Day. Pink on the map isn't necessarily a good thing this go around, because that means on that Valentine's Day, those wind chills are going to be way down there as well. That's when we focus on a developing storm system that is likely to throw one little batch of snow our way late in the day, Sunday into Sunday evening. Then the main storm system should crank and work its way across the volunteer state of Tennessee as we go into the day on Monday, into Monday night and Tuesday. Exactly where that goes and how strong it is, the determining factor on who gets the most precipitation and whether it's in the form of all snow, mix, and rain, or what have you. Right now, I like the colder solutions for this storm as we go into Monday and Monday night, as that storm then really ramps up to our east and northeast. What to expect all depends on the track of the low. I've said that a few times over the years, Significant snow totals and or mix a possibility. Nothing is set in stone by any means with this system. We have a few more days to watch it. That is indeed what we are going to be doing. Best chance of that would come late Sunday and especially into Monday and early in the day for Tuesday. Between now and then, it's just your typical run-of-the-mill brutal cold. We could be 10 below 0 with a wind chill tomorrow night.
All right, we have a way for you to warm up. That's what's going on downtown.
Let's hear it.
All right.
For our sports tonight, Rob is live for us at the Kentucky Sport Boat and Recreation Show.
Well, come down and see us. The show is going on through Sunday, Heritage Hall and Rupp Arena. And when I come back, dozens trying to become a voice of the Kentucky Wildcats. Stay with us. Sports is next.
WKYT First Alert Weather is brought to you by Lexington Athletic Club.
It's President's Day weekend at Green's Toyota of Lexington. And we're offering cold, hard cash to heat things up. Save up to $5,000 off MSRP on new Toyotas with our Green Saver coupon. Special APR offers available from Toyota Financial Services on 13 different Toyota models, including 0% APR on our most popular models. And get $2,000 customer cash on 13 different Toyota models. Hurry in to Kentucky's #1 Toyota dealer, Green's Toyota, for President's Day weekend savings.
Great people, great cars, think Greens.
This is Brett Melrose. With winter almost here, the experienced team at Fayette Heating and Air stands ready to serve you, dedicated to keeping you and your family comfortable around the clock, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, with no additional overtime fees ever. Fayette Heating and Air, we're the biggest because we're the best, and we're here for you anytime, day or night. Call 233-0424. Fayette Heating and Air, complete home solutions.
It's this weekend, the monthly show at 8th and Schoolhouse Antiques this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's your chance to shop room after room of quality antiques and collectibles from over 70 dealers. This weekend at 8th and Schoolhouse Antiques on Richmond Road, a mile past I-75.
At Baptist Health, we want you to know the facts. Visit BaptistHealthTalks.com to view a video of Dr. Molly Hauser on detecting and treating gestational diabetes. Baptist Health Lexington. Be a healthier you.
Wouldn't it be great to know what your car payment will be before you visit the dealership?
Thanks to Your Deal, Your Way, now available exclusively at PaulMillerMazda.com, you can pick your payments and negotiate the best price for your new Mazda.
This is the easy, convenient, and private way to get your deal your way.
Visit PaulMillerMazda.com to get the deal you love online.
Your deal, your way.
Points, click, save. PaulMillerMazda.com.
I love you, Dad. Matt. It's a time that comes for all of us. I don't want a funeral. I've planned my end-of-life celebration. They've recorded my biography to be played. I share my happiest memories, friends, your mom, and of course, you. I'm proudest of you, Matt.
Contact Clark Legacy Center to plan your end-of-life celebration.
Yo, no thank you for the bag, man. Checkers and Rally's mouth-watering 2-for-2 deal is back. Your favorite crispy fish with Alaskan filet or our spicy chicken sandwich. Mix or match, $2. Checkers and Rally's. Epic meals, epic deals.
Looking to fall in love this Valentine's Day? Fall in love with summer at the Kentucky Sport Boat and Recreation Show. Shop the latest boats, RVs, and motorsports. Visit the Kentucky Sport Boat and Recreation Show. Brought to you by Lee's Ford Marina.
And welcome back, everybody. Kentucky Sport Boat and Recreation Show, Heritage Hall, Rupp Arena. It is going on all the way through Sunday. Come down and see us. And you know, it is not often that there is a public tryout for a position with the University of Kentucky. But last night, dozens tried out for a position that is really important to UK athletics. Brian Milam has a story that you'll only see here on WKYT.
They came from everywhere, from all parts of the state. Maysville, Monticello, Whitesburg, Lawrenceburg, and places in between, all to get a shot at saying,
"Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to John Crop Stadium for tonight's game featuring the Louisiana State Tigers and your University of Kentucky
Wildcats."
There is only one voice of the Wildcats, but one of these candidates will be a voice for the Wildcats at home baseball and softball games as the public address announcer.
But it's all about clarity and accuracy and not necessarily about speed.
I've actually done a high school game in Rupp Arena, but no, it's a great thing to do.
It was the first time for some, and the nerves showed. While others have quite the resume.
Announced for the Legends for 5 seasons, announced for U of L baseball for a couple of years. Actually almost had the job announcing for the Cubs at Wrigley Field a couple of years back, so just trying to get back into announcing.
Silver Samuel.
We had auctioneers, teachers, stay-at-home mothers, students, and other professions, but all of them love UK and want to be the next public address announcer.
I think I did okay. I mean, it's first time at this, but I think I did all right.
I had fun.
I'll put it that way. I had a great time, and I'll be out here supporting the Cats, whether I'm in the box or out in the chairs.
At John Crop Stadium, I'm Brian Milam, WKYT.
And thank you, Brian. UK guards Tyler Ulis and Jamal Murray have been named to the Naismith Trophy mid-season watch list. Now, the Naismith Trophy goes annually to the top player in college basketball. Ulis was also named to the Wooden Award late-season top 20 watch list yesterday. He is averaging 16 points a game, leads the team with 148 assists. Murray leads the Cats in scoring, averaging nearly 19 points a game. Anthony Davis is the only Kentucky player ever to win the Naismith Trophy. Big game this weekend. Cats traveling down to South Carolina Saturday to take on the Gamecocks. Both teams in first place along with LSU. Tip-off set for noon on ESPN. Morehead State can complete a season sweep tonight over its big rival EKU. The Eagles hosting the Colonels at 7 o'clock in Johnson Arena. Morehead is just a game ahead of EKU in the OVC standings. Coach Sean Wood says his team will have to be at its best defensively.
They're really shooting the ball well. They're playing it with great confidence. So we have to match their intensity. We really have to match their confidence level and do what we do best, from a defensive standpoint to negate their scoring ability, because they're a very, very explosive scoring team.
It is an important game for the Colonels because they trail the Eagles by a game in the standings. EKU players saying there's been a buzz on campus.
It's really big, especially because we're one game behind them. So, and also, again, revenge is a big rival game, and how they came in here and beat us at home, we're looking to try and do the same.
I think every OVC conference game is a big game, especially this one against Morehead. It's definitely a big rivalry. Guys been talking about it, it's a little buzz on campus. It's a big game for us. We're right below them.
And we will have highlights of that one right here at 11 tonight. You can catch up on all the latest in boats, RVs, and outdoor gear. Our special program on the Kentucky Sport Boat and Recreation Show coming up at 6:30 in just a few minutes on the CW Lexington. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
WKYT's First Alert Weather follows you wherever you go, on TV, online, on your phone, and throughout the day on Mix 94.5.
February is fabulous during Lexington Furniture's Custom Upholstery event. Choose from the finest in quality upholstered furniture, and all from the best manufacturers. HENREDON, BERNHARDT, SHERRILL, Taylor King, and Lexington Home Brands. These manufacturers gave special discounts to Lexington Furniture, and now we're passing them on to you. Save up to 50% off suggested manufacturer retail prices during Lexington Furniture's Custom Upholstery event. It's furniture you'll love to live with.
Buying a new energy-efficient refrigerator or freezer? Well, get paid to upgrade. Let our Energy Star Appliance Rebate Program help you earn cash back on a range of Energy Star certified appliances. Just visit our website to see how to get paid to upgrade. South Kentucky RECC and Jackson Energy, your Touchstone Energy cooperatives.
Stop paying high electric bills. Call Eastern Airflow and upgrade to a new energy-efficient TempStar heating system. With offices in Richmond and Prestonsburg, we serve all Central and Eastern Kentucky. We now offer in-house financing for TempStar systems.
Kentucky schools are not failing.
We can't be failing if more students are graduating from high school, more students are making proficient advancing to state-mandated testing.
We have successes in our school every single day.
Whether students love or hate science, I'm going to work with them to make sure that they get what they need from my class to be successful once they leave my class.
Come see the awesome work our students are doing, and you'll see success.
Are you happy with your bathroom? I wasn't. I thought I didn't have the money until I learned about BathFitter. BathFitter puts a new bathtub right over your old one. Isn't that amazing? BathFitter will measure and install right over your existing tub. And only BathFitter has seamless walls, which guarantees a watertight fit. Plus, they do it all in just one day. That's my favorite part. Book a free consultation and find out for yourself. Call today or learn more at bathfitternow.com.
Suff's Furniture and Oriental Rugs is having a fantastic President's Day sale. Lazy Boy chairs save $400. 3 great Lazy Boy recliners at one low price. Your choice, only $392. Save 40% and take another 5% off one piece of Stickley Furniture special order. Sealy mattress, save $1,000. Sale price $487. Save an additional 25% off all Tempur-Pedic floor models. Receive a free cherry pie with your purchase from Suff's on President's Day. Look, Vito is preparing for the President's Day sale.
Kentucky Branded is your Valentine's Day headquarters. Shop for shirts, hats, UK gear, makers merchandise, KSR apparel, and home decor. We are your state pride home for all things Kentucky. Fayette Mall, next to All Good, KentuckyBranded.com.
Some interesting weather heading our way.
A little snow tomorrow morning, Arctic cold this weekend, more snow Valentine's Day.
We'll see it tonight at 11.